Hey, what's up, guys? It's the BoriBros.
Yes.
I'm Kyle,
I'm Dan.
and this is the BoriBros.
Welcome back to our episode 2 of our podcast.
Oh my god, I can't believe we made it to episode 2.
But technically 3 because this is our third video.
That's true.
Yes.
That's true.
So right now it's Saturday morning at 11:39 a.m. It's a little bit early to be recording podcast. Did you do anything fun yesterday?
Yesterday, I played this new game called Stardew Valley. It's not new.
You tried it for the first time?
Yeah, it's not new, but no, not the first time. I've been playing it. You know how I get into my gaming fits?
Oh yeah.
Where I'm just like...
You didn't stay until 7 a.m., right?
It was 3:30 this time. So
okay. We slept at a similar time yesterday then.
Okay.
I came back at like 2 and then crashed around like 3.
Mm-hmm.
But we made it. We woke up in time.
We did.
We did not delay. We delayed
tiny
it.
bit.
Yeah, like an hour and 39 minutes.
Well, we were talking about YouTube strategy this morning, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're serious about this. You know, we're trying to figure out for you guys what's going to be the best way to create our content in a way that you guys want to consume it. So if you guys have any ideas for us, definitely leave some comments down below.
Yes. So I went out yesterday to K-Town and realized I'm spending a little bit too much money than I should have.
Oh, really?
Dude, drinks are expensive.
Oh, yeah.
And food is expensive too. I mean, living in New York itself is expensive.
I mean, definitely in K-Town.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you have all the pochas there, all of the 식당s.
Yeah. I think like budgeting out was much easier in Georgia because there weren't any like unpredictable events happening.
It was all planned.
Yeah. And then like you don't usually go. There's only 2 pochas in Georgia.
Yeah. Hanshin and another one.
Hanshin and I forgot what the other one was, but
because no one goes there. Hanshin's posam is very good.
Oh yeah, dude, I miss it. I went to this restaurant called Osamil. Have you tried it? Have you heard about it?
That's the restaurant that's the sister restaurant of Take 32.
Take 30. Like I don't think they're owned by the same people.
Oh. But it's near each other.
It's on the 31st Street, like opposite of where H Mart is.
Oh, okay.
But dude, the food is so good. And then they have a speakeasy bar upstairs. The reservation for the restaurant was full. So we made a reservation for the bar, like the bar upstairs. And we just put our name down and just waited upstairs.
Damn. So, I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah. It's like a cocktail bar, right?
Yeah. And then like the wait only took like 30 minutes. So we grabbed like one drink upstairs and then came down, ate the food. Dude, the food was so good. Their kimchi fried rice with steak. And
with steak?
Their baby octopus jukumi. I don't know if you had it before. It's like a spicy sweet.
I think so.
It was so good.
That sounds really good. But
sidetracked. I'm spending way too much money. I need to start going outside.
We've been having this conversation for a few weeks now, actually.
Yeah, because I feel like I'm still on vacation ever since I moved to New York. Because like there's just so many places to go, like so many restaurants to try, and like a lot of like last minute hangouts and things like that too that I wasn't accounting for when I'm budgeting. So I've been spending way more money than I originally thought I would. So
when you're figuring out your finances for the month, do you do it like you budget specific amounts for specific categories? So I've been doing this for a really, really long time, like a couple of years now. So I have a general idea of what I spend on what month. So for example, like she gets vaccination every August. So I'm going to budget extra under like category, like pet category. Like I know what I'm earning per paycheck and I just allocate it in each category, like food, like dining, groceries, like entertainment, like transportations. And I just try to use like previous data or the previous like years. Like your years in Georgia? Yeah, so I mean like I kind of upped it because like I've been living here for a couple months, so I like updated the budget just to account for that. Like I got rid of like a car payment and like gas. Instead I have transportation now and things like that. But talking about spending a lot of money, how do you keep up? As a person that lived in New York for the past year and a half, how do you financially keep up? Well, a little bit of backstory. Like when I was living in Hawaii, I was living paycheck to paycheck. So I really had to keep track of my finances.
Yeah.
In terms of like, if I don't, I may not be able to have any money to put away. I'll always have money for rent. Like I always put that aside. But like, I think I just think about the big expenses and then work my way down. I cook a lot and my girlfriend cooks a lot. So we tend to not eat out as much. We DoorDash maybe twice a week, which is nice.
Is living with someone else like helpful in terms of finances?
I think so. Actually, very much so.
It's because like, well, you guys are not roommates, but like,
Essentially,
there's like roommate benefits, I guess.
Exactly.
That you guys share.
We're splitting the rent.
Yeah.
You know, we're splitting groceries. We're splitting everything. I think society caters to like couples more so than like single people.
What makes you say that?
You think of like rent prices. Is it really sustainable? I mean, it is sustainable depending on what income you make, but like how, like really, it's not very convenient to be paying like with one salary for an apartment. I think for your own apartment, which is why a lot of people get roommates. And I don't like to have roommates myself.
Yeah,
I mean, like having my partner is better.
I could save up money by finding a roommate, but it's like a luxury to live alone and have my own space and things like that. But that's just the upcharge that I need to pay in order to have that freedom.
Yeah. I think in general, like living with your significant other, for me, kind of feels like you're living alone. Like you have, it's like, it still feels like your space, you know?
Yeah.
Whereas if you're living with roommates, it's like more of a communal space.
That's true. Yeah. I think that's a good point. Overall, I'm just spending way too much money and I need to get my things straight.
Yeah. How much over budget are you already this month? It's, what is it, August
14th, 13th?
August 13th. Are you over budget yet?
I think I'm under budget at the moment, but in terms of what I'm spending at this pace, it will be over budget. I think in August, biggest expense were I'm going to the vet for her vaccination next week. I'm kind of scared how much that's going to cost because I don't know yet.
Might be about 300.
That's what I budgeted because that's what it was. Hopefully it won't take too much. And I think I need to take her to grooming. So I think the pet will be one of the higher ones.
Did you go over budget last month?
Yes.
How much?
Do you all see?
Yeah.
All right, let's see. I was over budget on dining, $563.46.
That was my rent in Hawaii.
$563?
Like 500.
So entertainment, I spent $35 more. Gift, I spent $42 more. Shopping, it was a lot of podcast equipment. So that was another thing that I wasn't.
How much over were you there?
$851.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just generally how I do it. It's really helpful. It just, like I said, it gives me peace of mind because I would go crazy if I didn't know how much I had and how much I needed to like pay back on the credit card each month.
Yeah.
Because how do people live with that? Like how do people live without knowing like how much they need to pay on a certain day?
Whenever I look at my credit card statement, I just pay it right then and there.
Yeah, I mean that's the right way to do it. But also, I've been holding a lot more cash recently because some of my cards don't charge interest. And then I just try to utilize that. Or like if I see a good investing opportunity, I would allocate that cash.
Do you not pay off your credit cards each month?
So it depends, right? There are credit cards that I pay immediately. Like this Sapphire, like those things that charge interest, I just pay it off right then and there. And then there are cards that doesn't charge interest for like 24 months and things like that. I generally utilize that like if I don't have to pay it off right then and there, and it allows me to hold cash for the time being, then I prefer doing that.
Oh, okay.
So I used to work at this startup company and they have this app called Stairs. Not sponsored by Ground Floor. But they give you 4 to 6% interest on, it's like a savings account so you can pull out anytime. And it's a stable 4 to 6% interest. So you put in like $3,000 and you get like $20 a month.
That's crazy.
That's good. So like rather than like if I don't necessarily have to pay for a credit card, then I would rather allocate that money into savings.
That sounds like a high yield savings account?
So it's more like a money market account. High yield savings accounts are FDIC insured up to certain amounts.
So that's not FDIC.
So it's not FDIC insured because it's backed up by a real estate. So it's like a little different, and we can talk more about that later. But there are ways to hold cash and not have to still have some interest.
I typically always pay my credit card off every month.
And that's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
It's just once you're comfortable with that, I think there are ways to kind of utilize that as well.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when I moved to New York, I also got I think it was like a 16-month 0 APR. And then because I was not sure, right? I'm still living paycheck to paycheck in Hawaii.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, how am I going to make this work? Okay, I got to just charge a little bit and then get a good job there in New York and then pay all the money back.
Yeah.
And that was kind of my mindset back then.
That's the thing. I think I can relate because when I moved in March, I wasn't getting paid yet, right? Even if I had that salary increase on paper, I still had to work to get that money.
Right.
But I had to pay rent, pay all the buy all the furnitures.
Yeah, all the upfront costs of moving, right?
That's another thing. They didn't provide any relocation package because I said I wanted to move to New York one day. And they gave me one extra PTO, I guess.
I think they should give you a little more than that.
Yeah, but it was whatever. I just wanted to move and get it over with. And yeah, at least I'm here. I'm settled. Everything's good.
Yeah. I mean, you're here. So
yeah.
And you're happy, right?
Yes.
Good. What's your credit score? Can I?
Yeah, credit score is 750.
Oh, okay.
It's not terrible.
How long have you had your credit cards for?
I have 8 credit cards.
Oh, okay.
So it's a lot.
What's the average?
The earliest card I got was Bank of America, cashback rewards. And that was back in high school. And then my parents did a really good job putting me as a authorized user on their card. And that really gave me a good start on a credit score.
Yeah.
And then I think the latest card I got was the balance transfer card, which is the interest-free card. I had to transfer some balance. So I typically have one new card every time my interest-free period ends. So I got another Bank of America card a couple months ago to transfer some balance so that I don't incur any interest in those. That's a big expense, but
what do you do with those cards after you after the?
I mean, if they don't charge fee, you can just keep it open.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if you close it, that's gonna hurt your.
But you never use it, right?
No.
Yeah.
It's just each card has the purpose of its own.
Yeah.
Bank of America, you can choose 3% category, whether it's online shopping or dining and things like that.
Yeah.
So I set that as online shopping. Chase Freedom Flex or Chase Sapphire is a travel card. So anything if I book a hotel or airlines, I use that. I used to have Delta Amex card just to get the 100,000 miles. And then once I utilized all that, I just closed that because it was charging a high fee. Freedom Flex and Freedom Unlimited, those are the triangle of Chase points. And then they don't charge fees. And then they have rotating categories. So I use that, whatever.
It hurts your credit score when you close a card, right?
It depends on the length of the card, length of the time that you had that card, and the credit that card provided. So if that card gave you the most credit, that would hurt that ratio, right? That to credit ratio. So I typically don't close it unless they charge fee. Or even if they charge fee, there are some ways that you can downgrade the card. For example, I know Amex Platinum charges 695 fee or something like that. You can downgrade that to gold and still keep that credit card history and then the credit amount, but pay less fee.
I think the top 2 cards that people typically use is Chase Sapphire and
Amex Platinum.
Amex, yeah.
I do hear a lot about it. I haven't been traveling a lot actually. So ever since I moved to New York, just by living here, it seems like a vacation for me. I didn't find it necessary to go anywhere.
I see.
But we should go travel one day.
Yeah.
I was talking to our friend Kathy. We should have a group travel.
Yeah, I'm down.
I feel like it would be so fun.
Dude, we should go to to start, we should go somewhere Canada or something. Vancouver? Oh.
I'm down.
I love
we should go
Vancouver.
To that lake? Really, really pretty lake that photographers all go to. It's a Banff.
Oh, Banff. Yeah,
yes.
Calgary.
Yes.
Yeah.
I want to go. Is it not? Is it?
It's beautiful. It's really beautiful. Like when you're driving up the mountains and like you're seeing everything. But
is it
it's more like a honeymoon vacation.
You don't want honeymoon vacation with me?
No.
How dare you? What are we talking about?
So do you think it's a mistake for you to be spending all this money?
I mean, it's definitely not the like greatest idea.
Yeah.
But I think one thing that I realized living through this past couple years, I was very conservative when I graduated college. And, you know, I wanted to live by textbook definition, like save like 401k, Roth IRA.
Oh, I see.
And like making sure that I don't spend on anything that I shouldn't have. So I lived like that. And then
what happened?
I think I kind of let go of that when
Why?
Like last year.
When you moved?
No, before I moved.
Before you moved?
Because
or when you went to Cancun?
Yeah.
Really? Is it really?
Because I met like group of friends that were very like free spirited and like living by the moment and things like that. I think I used to live for the future because I'm still a planner. Like I would like think months ahead of time. But I feel like I'm much more happier that I'm living by the moment. I love the spontaneity of like whatever happens, and I'm not like foreseeing everything. Yeah. It has that excitement of like, oh, I didn't know that was going to happen today. And, you know, it happened.
Like, that's why you said that you used to be very, if someone made a plan and then the plan didn't go through, like everything would be thrown off for you. Whereas now you're like a little bit more flexible.
Right. I have a lot of friends that are like, that doesn't plan or like.
That's me.
Just lives by the moment. And I think I've gotten used to it. I'm still a planner on my own term. Like if I need to get things done and do things on my like schedule, like I would plan things out. But when it comes to like group activities and hanging out with people, I would usually like let whatever happen. Okay, I don't think it's a mistake, right? Because by the amount of money that I'm paying, like like I'm incurring debt and that's not good. But I'm really happy. Yeah. Like I'm happy to go out and meet people and like hang out with them and eat a lot of good food, drinks, and making the memories. I think I value that much more than just dollar amount. I think I can earn back those monies. Earn back those like
that money.
Yeah, I think I can earn back all those money that I'm spending.
All that money that you're spending.
All that money that I'm spending. But you know, like if this time passes, it's never coming back. We're continuously going to get older. And I think
exactly,
I do see it in a way that my time in New York is limited because I know I don't want to live here for life. So I want to best utilize the time I have here as much as possible. And if that takes like extra money to spend, I'm not going to be stupid about it and like spend so much money that I can't afford everything. But just being smart about it, but at the same time, like having that flexibility of enjoying the moment.
Yeah. I mean, the way I think about it is like when you're on your deathbed, right?
Yeah.
I always think about this.
Yeah.
Do you want to have the regret of not having all of the experience that you could have because you were too like holding tight to your money or like holding tight to like your tradition and like what you're used to? You know, like I think the most important thing when you're living every day is to live every day like it's your last.
Exactly.
And it's like you don't ever want to have any regrets. Like I think that's my biggest fear is to have regrets on my deathbed.
Especially like ones you could have done, but you decided not to.
Yeah.
Talking about regrets, mistakes, what are some biggest mistakes you've ever made in your life?
Oh.
Do you make mistakes, Kyle?
Of course I make mistakes.
You have a very high standard on my mind. Like I put you on a very high standard.
I make lots of mistakes.
I mean, as do everyone.
So I'll talk about financial mistakes since we're already on the subject.
Okay.
But right when I was out of college, I moved in with a couple people in a house and they go on snowboarding trips every year. I was working in Hawaii.
Is there snow in Hawaii?
No, they go
somewhere else?
Yeah, somewhere else. So we went to Vancouver, Tahoe, and then back to Vancouver again. We went to on 3 snowboarding trips. Okay, like I had like some savings in my bank account.
Yeah.
But I was also living as a contracted worker, meaning that I had to pay self-employment tax. So that means that your employer doesn't take out half of your FDIC
The withholdings.
The federal tax. So I had 15% in tax. I didn't know that at the time. And I didn't account for like, granted, I wasn't making much money either.
Because it was like 1099 worker.
1099, exactly. Yeah. And so like I'm living the moment at that moment. But also I was like, I was hesitant. I remember being hesitant. I was like, I don't know if I should because like we already went on this one and that one and they were really fun.
Yeah.
But it's just like my finances. Like I feel like I'm slowly draining everything. And so I actually went negative. And my parents had to bail me out. They had to lend me like $1,000. And I was like, damn, lesson learned, never doing that again.
Yeah, I think unexpected expenses are a huge punch in your finances.
Oh yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
And we already talked about the life insurance, $3,000.
No, you know what happened to me? You know what happened to me?
What?
So my first job as a wealth management, a financial planner.
Yeah.
I had to take this test called CFP exam, right? And then that costed about a total about like $4,000, $5,000 in terms of like taking the test, like the study course that they recommended and things like that. And worst of all, like I had to take it twice because I failed the first time.
So you had to pay $10,000?
No. Like in total, it was like $5,000.
Oh, okay.
And then I was barely making any money out of college. Well, it was still like good amount in Georgia. It was like $53K. That was my starting salary.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Mine was like my first year, I made like $20K.
I mean, but like in a finance industry though.
That's true.
Yeah.
But I'm not, and I wasn't in finance, but still, it makes me really sad.
And then, where was I going with this? Oh, like when I quit the job, apparently the contract said, if I leave within 2 years after taking the test, I have to pay back the reimbursements that I got for those exams. And at the time, I was barely making any money. Like they knew how much I was making, like because they were giving me the money.
Yeah.
And then I had to pay that $5,000 back, and that made a huge dent.
Sounds like a scam to me.
I guess it's contract. So like make sure to read all the documents when you join a company. And I like understood it wrong too. I thought it meant like you have to stay in the company for 2 years, which I did. I stayed for like 2.5, but it said 2 years after you get the certification.
So when did you get the actual certification?
That was like 2 years after I was working at the firm. So I wasn't gonna work it.
See, that's a scam. 4 years. That's 4 years, but they say 2 years after the certification.
And they're 7 billion AUM like asset their management company. They're a big company.
Yeah.
I can't believe they came after me with $5,000.
The one that the life insurance people that scammed. I don't want to say scam, but that
just tricked you.
Tricked me.
You didn't need life insurance.
They tricked me. They're a huge company too. Was that the company that you're talking about?
That's one of the famous ones.
Yeah.
What other mistakes other than like finance related? You want me to go first?
Yeah, maybe you go first because I'm like trying to think.
Okay, so
it seems like you have like an answer you want to give.
Well, I guess not mistake. I think like I don't regret any of my mistakes because I think it ultimately made me who I am today. Yeah. And I am very content with myself today. Most of my life-changing moments were caused by realization that I'm doing something wrong. So I think the first example that I can think of right now is when I was in college and I was junior in undergrad, and I was very I was being stubborn about my major. So I was majoring in bio from freshman year to junior year. And my GPA was terrible and I didn't know what I was doing. But because I wanted to be a pediatrician, or that was my childhood dream, I wanted to kind of like push myself to do it. Even when I knew like I didn't like it, like it was not for me. So I was being stubborn about my major. And then I decided to change because I get very competitive with my close friends. So if I'm seeing that like they're getting internships, they're getting job offers, I become pressured. Like I pressure myself with it. And then that's when I realized like that's definitely not working out, right? I started the GPA with 2.5, by the way, in freshman year.
No way.
It was a terrible year. I think that's like the first year when I realized like that's the first time I drank, first time like I hung out, like typical college experience.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I got. Like my sophomore to senior year, I was at home by myself, and that was it.
I was kind of a loser freshman year. I was like playing StarCraft while everyone else was partying.
So I changed my major to financial planning because, again, I like budgeting. Like I always did that even when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought the career option was very attractive because it's basically helping people manage their money. Right?
Yeah.
It's not about like making money for the company or like making money for like by tricking people.
Mm-hmm.
So I went through that route, joined like executive board for like some club, and you know got the internship, got the job offer, and things like that. So that was like one of the biggest life-changing moments because I was already late in terms of switching major, and I wanted to graduate on time. So I took like summer courses. I took like 18 hours per semester. I did everything to like get my shit together, and that ultimately like led me to a correct path after I graduated.
Oh, I see.
And then I guess another life-changing moments is like when the COVID hit and realized that this job was not for me.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was reaching out to like a bunch of random people on LinkedIn and, you know, figuring out what I wanted to do in terms of like finance industry, which ultimately led me to be here right now at this moment. And I'm very happy with my job, happy with what I do. So not really a mistake, but I think my mistake was just being lazy.
I have that mistake all the time. I think I was like pretty lazy before. There wasn't a lot of work, but I feel like I could have done much more when I was in Hawaii than I did. I wasn't like going like far out of my way to try to, you know, push myself in my career and like what I was doing.
And we were young.
Yeah.
I think my other not regrets, but mistakes were, I guess, caring too much about what other people think about me. So if I do certain things, like I would get paranoid of, oh, like, are they going to judge me for it? Or things like that. And, you know, those things come from the experience. Like there were moments when I like found out when close friends of you are like talking behind your back. It hurts, right? Especially at the young age. So that like made me care way too much about like what other people think about me, because I don't want that to happen again, right? I don't want people to talk behind my back. If they have something against me, I want them to like tell me. Like I want to make things right. But I think that also caused a lot of stress while growing up, because I don't think I was really living for myself. I was just living to like please other people, making sure that I meet their standards, to be around them and things like that. Whereas now I'm just like, oh, if they don't like me, like they don't like me, I don't give a shit. Which I'm so much happier about. And I think I'm more of myself, like my true self. But again, like if I didn't experience that, I wouldn't have been who I am today.
It's true. Have you gone through like lots of moments where you're like, you don't really know who you are and like the things that you're doing, like the actions that you're taking aren't really aligning with what you think you should be?
What I talked about on our last episode about going through a breakup and realizing that there were not that many people around me. It was like a one huge moment where I thought like I did all that to like kind of live to please them and make sure I was a good friend to them and things like that. But ultimately, you know, I didn't have anyone around, right? And I think that's also my fault in terms of like not being real to them and not being my true self. I just didn't know what I needed to do. It ultimately worked out, but I was just very confused and lonely and like very hurt in a way. But also like it's all caused by my action, so I can't blame anyone for it.
Right.
Yeah, it's just like I'm the only one to blame, right?
I mean, when you're not really being yourself, that's kind of like a form of insecurity, right? And I think people can tell really easily when you're trying to be something that you're not.
Right.
And it's almost like an instinctual sense of like, I feel like you're a little 이상해.
Me?
No.
Oh, like that's.
But
that's
like that's
like,
yeah, you. Yeah, you're a little.
Have you ever had those moments where like you go to like a club or you go to like party and like, you know, these cool group of people like come to you and like try to chat up with you? I don't know if you did it. I did it before, and like I felt so embarrassed about it. But like, I guess one big example is like when you go to a bar. Like I don't really go to a bar.
Yeah.
And I don't know anything. Like at the time, like when I didn't know anything about like drinks and stuff like that, I would pretend that I know, and like I would like look at those like list of all the drinks.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, can I have that IPA? Like it's the strongest. You know, I'm the man.
Yeah.
But
the pride in you.
Yeah, I think I had a lot of those moments where I was trying to like fit in and trying to be who I'm not.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to make sure that my friends thought I was qualified to be their friends. When in real life, like that shouldn't be a problem. Like if they are judging you for who you are, or if they have problem with who you are, you shouldn't be with them. Like you shouldn't like put yourself around them. You should go and find new friends.
I guess back then you're just surrounded by the people that you know, and it's hard to like kind of make the new friends. So you kind of felt like you had to fit into the mold that you thought they needed you to fit in. Whereas now I feel like you're meeting a lot of new people.
Yeah.
And because they're people that aren't really connected to people that you know,
in the past,
you're able to just like start new, be yourself, and like resemble who you actually are deep down.
Did you have any of those moments were you always like you're living for yourself, or like did you ever have those moments where you were acting like someone that you were not?
Oh yeah.
Can you give me some examples?
Yeah. So I used to rave quite a bit in college.
Yeah.
And I used to hang out with this rave group, and they're very like, yeah, and then they would have like their catchphrases, and they would also like be like try to make jokes all the time, and I would be like, you laugh
at it.
Yeah, you laugh at it, and you also almost catch yourself smiling, but because you have to, and then like your mouth starts to hurt, and you're just like.
Yeah, it's like, oh my god, like I'm smiling too much.
Yeah, I'm smiling too much, but it's not because I want to smile.
Yeah.
But I wanted to be like, they seem like the kind of like the cool like rave group that I wanted to be a part of. I finally felt like I had a group that I could fit in with. But there's this one moment where the leader, I guess, of the rave group had like his birthday party.
Yeah.
And then I told him like, oh, I'm coming. I'm gonna leave now at my dorm. And then he was like, all right, yeah, come over. And then I was like, okay. So he said he was gonna pick me up initially.
Okay.
And then he didn't. It was like 30 minutes past. I was like, oh, are you coming? Because it's like not far at all.
Oh, he didn't even tell you that he was not picking you up.
No, I was like, are you coming? And he was like, yeah. I was like, another 30 minutes passed, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna walk because it's like. I mean, it's not super close, but it's like close enough, I guess. So I called the campus security, and then they can transport you to like a certain point.
Okay.
Then I walk from there, and then I'm like waiting outside. I'm like, hey, dude, I'm outside. And then he was like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll let you in a bit. And then 30 minutes passed, and I'm like, hey, like
outside? You're just waiting outside for 30 minutes?
Yeah. I was like, hey, dude, where you at? And then like he doesn't text for like a few, and then he's like, oh. And then he was like, oh yeah, I'll let you in. And then like I just remember waiting for like ever the whole night. And then when I got in there, I was like, they just drink a lot, do a lot of drugs, and I just started to feel really empty. It kind of made me rethink about what I think about friends and what makes a friend a friend.
And when was this?
College. Like 2015.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, 2014, 2015 maybe.
Sounds so long ago.
Yeah. When you have friendships, it should make you feel filled. Right. It should make you feel like fulfilled in a way, but not so much where like you need them to fulfill you, but it's just like a mutual fulfillment.
Yeah.
Whereas like I felt like I was like a hype man for like whoever has the most influence in that group. It's just really draining,
Yeah. Living for other people is draining itself, I think.
It's very draining.
Yeah.
It's like you just trying to like be something you're not, but you don't really realize it at the moment.
Yeah.
Because you're just so deep into it, right?
Right. And I think at those age, like when I was in college, I didn't know. I think I recently found out who I am. I'm still finding out.
Yeah.
But especially back in college, I did not know what I liked. I didn't know like what kind of friends I wanted. I really didn't make any new friends in college because I was also in a really long-term relationship.
Oh, right.
And I just devoted most of my time spending with her. And then because I messed up so much in freshman year, I just tried to make that GPA.
That 2.5 GPA.
Yeah. I ultimately did. I brought it up to 3.8.
Nice.
And then
summa cum laude.
Yeah. I didn't really have a social life. I just spent time with my girlfriend and just didn't really get to meet a lot of new people, which is something that I really regret too.
Yeah.
But I think that's like what I'm basing my life right now, because I didn't want to tie myself into a relationship. That's another reason why I want to try to be single as long as I can. I do want to meet new friends. I do want to experience new things without having to like worry about like if I'm going to hurt that person by doing certain things. You know?
Yeah, but not giving them enough time.
Right.
Okay.
Like once I'm done over that, like once I really know what I like and who I am, I think I can definitely devote myself to that person and not have any resentment over it.
I feel like you really want to just live on your own terms at this point.
Of course, like I want to be in a relationship. Of course, I want to depend on someone and like talk to one person. It's just, I don't think it's going to be fair for them.
Yeah.
At the moment.
Yeah.
So.
That makes sense.
So, do you think you changed after you moved to New York?
I think I live much more comfortably in New York
than Hawaii.
Because
in what ways?
Financially, for sure. Freely, like I feel like I have almost like autonomy over my life because I work remote and Jen just lets me do whatever I want, and I get to meet people whenever I want.
Is it expensive to live in Hawaii?
Yeah.
Is it like similar to New York?
It's similar to New York, and you're not really gonna find apartments like the one that you and I live in, like nicer apartments.
What kind of apartments are?
They're really run down.
Oh, is it like just old?
Hawaii's very run down and old, and people just don't like renovate their apartments, I guess.
How's the earning potential there, like compared to New York?
Half, if not less.
How do people live there then?
Good question. They live very frugally.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Dude, I want to spend musubi.
Oh, dude, that sounds so good right now.
Okay. Oh, one thing I'm curious. So when did you graduate again?
2016.
So how was your life between 2016 to the year you moved to New York?
I was trying to figure out like, what do I like? What should my career path be? And then I got a job at the documentary company that I worked at. That
gave you opportunity to fly out to New York.
Yeah, that gave me an opportunity to fly out to New York. Experience New York, was like, all right, I gotta move here. Met Jen, was like solid. So I guess like a lot of my years after college were very formative for me in terms of figuring out what I want to do in life.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, it eventually worked out for both of us. So, and we're here in New York enjoying our lives. So
exactly.
But yeah, I think that calls for the end of the podcast.
Yeah.
Because I'm really, really hungry right now. Oh. I am starving. It's like 12:51 p.m. and I have not eaten anything so far.
Oh my God. All right, guys. Thank you again for joining us at BoriBros. I'm Kyle.
And I'm Dan.
And we'll see you next time. Make sure to subscribe and like the video.
And comment down below.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
See ya.